Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of This Week in Sports with Michael Morgan. Today we have an exclusive interview with U.S. Olympic hopeful Austin Bahner. Let's get right into it.
I'm Austin Bahner. I grew up here in Wichita, Kansas. I went to Heights High School, went to Wichita State University got recruited for triple jump, changed into a decathlete. I competed at the NCAA level. I'm an All-American. I have competed for Team USA 4 times in the past 3 years, and we have finally reached the Olympic year 2016, held in Eugene, Oregon, and I'm going to compete there, hopefully to gain a spot for the Olympic team.
All right, so we're here with Austin Bahner. How are you doing today, Austin?
I'm doing well, thank you.
All right, so I just got a couple questions for you. So what kind of got you into being a decathlete, just an athlete in general?
Well, I grew up playing sports. I was an all-around sport type guy. I played soccer, basketball, anything you can name, and I just loved it. I did track in middle school, high school. I wasn't really into it, but I ended up getting recruited for it, and that's what I love to do.
So tell me a little bit about this whole recruitment thing. You told me a little bit about it earlier, so go ahead about your situation that happened.
Well, I was actually going to play basketball. It was my first love. I was getting recruited at WSU to be a walk-on by a coach who ended up leaving that year that I was supposed to come in. Didn't have contact with the next coach coming in, so that kind of, we lost sight of that. And then my track coach in high school kind of told me, hey, WSU is interested in you for track. So I kind of went along with that, took a recruiting visit, and I ended up, deciding to go there. It was my next choice. I wanted to go to a big school, so I didn't, I liked track still, so I went with that.
And it paid off, obviously.
It paid off.
Yeah, speaking of it paying off, so you are going to the Olympic trials for the decathlon, if I'm correct, this coming weekend?
Right, Saturday, Sunday.
So just go ahead and tell me a little bit about that. I mean, you're excited, of course, right?
Yes, I'm very excited, a little nervous, but definitely more excited. The competition dates are Saturday, Sunday. It consists of 10 events split into 2 days, so 5 events per day. It's a little bit of sprinting, running, throwing, it has hurdles, pole vault, all that good stuff. Competing against some of the best guys out there, the world record holder, Ashton Eaton, one of the next best guys in there, Trey Hardy. He's injured right now, but he entered anyway, so we'll see kind of how he does. But I'm excited to compete against a big field.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what's your experience been like, growing up in Wichita and, now going to compete on a big stage, hopefully the world stage in the Olympics? What's all that been like for you?
It's been a journey, an interesting ride. Growing up, just kind of being the person I am, I kind of just went along with everything. Everything turned out to be good, but I went to regular high school, public high school, did all the sports. I was, fortunate enough to go to a college for sport, and I eventually started to invest in that sport, and I got pretty serious from day one of my college career. My first couple of meets here and there, my head coach was telling me, dude, you're going to be really good at this event, just wait. And as a young college kid, you're kind of like, yeah, whatever. But after a couple of years, I started to realize the potential that I had, and like I said, I invested in that, and it, I grew up a little bit, matured, and I'm taking things a lot more serious. I have a whole new perspective on the sport, and it's been great.
So kind of take me into a day in your life, a day in training of Austin Bahner.
All right. how much time do you have? No,
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
Summer. Yeah.
No.
Let's go ahead and take me through every single lesson. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
Well, you have to fit in all the event work per week, basically, is what I try to do.
And which events are those for the decathlon?
Well, just go in order. So on day 1, it goes the 100-meter dash, long jump, shot put, high jump, and 400-meter dash. On day 2 is the high hurdles, discus, pole vault, javelin, and the 1500. So basically, I try to get all the throws in. So 1 throw per week of each throw. And then I try to fit in the 2 jumps. I kind of go back and forth with long jump and high jump. I do 1 or 2 pole vault sessions a week. 2 to 3 lately hurdle sessions a week. And then I have my normal routine with my workouts. So it could be anything from like a tempo workout, what we call speed endurances, which are the horrible days of the week. And then I'll throw in a 1500 meter workout for kind of the longer distance oriented training.
Yeah, awesome. So what's your biggest motivation?
Well, my ultimate goal is to make the trials. It's hard, coming up from a small state, small town, even for those big schools out there, to get, financial help, and sponsors basically is the big thing. That would be a huge accomplishment for me because I'm not sponsored. I'm kind of just training for myself right now. Like I said, I realized the potential in all that, and it kind of took me until the last couple of years to get serious into training and all that. And slowly I'm improving, but at the same time, I'll have to start focusing more on my career and what I want to do with, jobs in the future and all that. So it'll be hard to weigh in both of those things. So I have to look at the bigger picture. I'm stuck with a big decision after this year being the big Olympic year, if I want to keep training for another 4 years, or if I can get good enough to get sponsored so I don't have to worry about financial aid and all that stuff.
Yeah. So, kind of a funnier question. What do you do before a meet or anything? Is there anything weird that you do, or do you just jam out some music, or what do you do?
Honestly, we go by this thing called, it's this phrase, you'll hear it from a lot of athletes, look good, feel good, compete good. So, I go out and kind of get done up, I guess you could say. I get a haircut, I shave, I do all that, personal care. Basically, I relax up until the day before competition. That's our pre-meet day, and then the next 2 days are competition days. So I kind of go through the same routine every decathlon, relaxing, kind of pamper myself, I guess you could say, and then focus on the big picture.
So the decathlon's made up of 10 events. So how do you kind of get yourself to not just get tired out? What's kind of your conditioning like, and how hard is it to get into shape to be able to do 5 events one day and then another 5 strenuous events the next day?
Well, it's no joke, that's for sure. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication. Being by myself, a lot of athletes have training partners out there. Most of the athletes that I know that I'm friends with are all kind of on the West Coast training, or down south, or maybe Florida, in the nicer areas of the country for training purposes, so they can train outdoor all year long and it's consistent. So for them, that's kind of nice, but for me, it's hard, waking up, telling myself to go out there, do your workout, hit the right times, do the right technique and form and all that for the event work. So like I said, it just takes a lot of work and dedication to push yourself to be the best you can be.
So, what kind of impact do your friends and family have on you, just in motivation and just in your everyday life, and you're preparing for this, Olympic trial?
Well, they're definitely my biggest supporters. It's great to have such a big support system with friends and family. My friends they all have my back. They're all rooting for me. My family, they're kind of my biggest financial help as far as providing, travel, airfare, all that stuff. I kind of go through them, and I love them to death, and they're always there. They always keep up with my success and all that stuff, and they're my #1 fans. So it kind of helps to have them, behind me to push me through all the workouts, all the meets, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
As well.
Awesome. So, you grew up in Wichita, born and raised here. Then you went to Heights High School, and then you went to WSU. So, now your trials are in Oregon, and you might be traveling all around the world. What's it like to you to be able to represent, your hometown, your home state, the 316? What does that mean to you?
I mean, to put it simply, it means a lot more than I can even fathom, because you don't see a lot of small town kids coming up to the big stage, competing with a lot of those bigger upper level athletes. But it kind of gives people hope, kids that are from this area and all that. I mean, you can look up to someone and say, hey, that guy did it, I think I can too. So I kind of think that's the bigger thing that I also compete for. I like to, and the reason why I kind of stick around here instead of going off myself to the West Coast or somewhere else to train. It's a small hometown, so it's like everybody is your family. Everybody knows you, so you stick with them, and it's hard to leave that.
I gotta say, just kind of in my experience, I would say you're kind of a trailblazer, just in the way we don't see very many people, coming from Wichita to go and do big things in sports if it's not, here in Wichita. We saw WSU's basketball team a couple years back make the Final Four, and now we're kind of more of a legit collegiate, program there. So I think it's very cool, you're doing what you're doing, and, the whole city is with you, and we're all riding with you and everything. So if you could say one thing, to the teens of Wichita, who are supporting you and who are, with you, rooting for you, what would you say?
Well, honestly, I'd say if you have a dream, go for it. I mean, also, God has a plan for you. He's going to push you a certain direction. He knows what's best for you, and if you have an idea of what you want to do, you have this big dream, then why not go for it? You might as well see what will happen, and that's probably what I got to say.
All right, Austin, it's been great having you on here.
Thank you.
We're all rooting for you. I'm sure you're going to do great at the Olympic trials. It'll be great, and we'll be right back after this. All right, that'll do it for this week's episode of This Week in Sports with Michael Morgan. I'd like to thank my guest, U.S. Olympic hopeful Austin Bahner, for being here. It was great to have you, man. So that'll be it from me. As always, I'm Michael Morgan. This is This Week in Sports with Michael Morgan, and that's Buckets.